People that don't have any dreams for themselves, they tend to be dream killers.
You know better, but you're not doing better. That's some scary shit.
Most of us don't grow until you hear the word no.
No one is ever gonna see or have you in mind for any project or opportunity if you live in the middle of nowhere.
Take your place. Make your mark. Live your life.
He's a Grammy-nominated singer, songwriter, actor, author, and TV producer. After releasing several albums, he transitioned into films and has starred in some of Hollywood's biggest blockbusters. He's best known for his role as Roman Pierce in the Fast and Furious series. He's Tyrese Gibson, and here's my take on his top 10 rules for success. Rule number 9 is my personal favorite, and make sure to stick around all the way to the end for some special bonus clips. As always, if Tyrese says something that really resonates with you, please leave it in the comments and put quotes around it so others can be inspired as well.
Some of y'all have a habit of dreaming within your bank account. Some of your thoughts and visions are so big and so outlandish and so powerful and amazing, you'll end up talking yourself out of that dream from saying, I can't afford that. Well, guess what? There's a lot of shit I can't afford. There's a lot of visions and dreams that I still can't afford. I've always had this idea that one day I'm gonna meet a multi-billionaire. And with this multi-billionaire, we're gonna become the best of friends. And he's gonna say to me, Tyrese, I got all the money in the world, but I don't have your visions or your ideas. And I'll say to him, I got you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna waste your time. I got big visions and ideas. I can't afford them all, but it's not gonna stop me from having these visions and ideas. I came here to remind you that when people laugh at your visions and ideas, it's only because they don't have their own visions and ideas around what they're supposed to do with their life or their careers. People that don't have any dreams for themselves, they tend to be dream killers. People that don't have their own visions, they become vision killers. They want nothing more than to talk you out of your own visions. They don't have dreams for themselves. They don't have any hopes. They're hopeless. They're uninspired, unmotivated. They have no dreams. They have nothing that they're ambitious about. But I want to remind you to continue to dream and dream big. I have a habit of dreaming with my eyes open. I get very inspired by the things I see. I'm inspired by architecture. I'm inspired by photography. I'm inspired by ideas. I'm inspired by the idea that someone can have a vision. And if that vision had stayed in their mind, they would have robbed the world of the opportunity to experience that vision. I mean, think about this. As big as this is, the fact that it's in the middle of the street, if they had kept this idea inside their minds, I wouldn't be here to look at it or experience it. This is the power of visions and ideas. Right here. You see it? This is the power of not allowing anyone to laugh at you. When you say, I want to build something, a sculpture that can go in the middle of the street, and it can be an iconic sculpture that will last forever. Long after I'm dead and gone, this could be a sculpture that can stand in the middle of a street here in the streets of Paris. And if this person who built this would have allowed people to talk them out of their dreams and their visions, it wouldn't be here for us to see or experience. My voice is gone. We had a sold-out show here in Paris. I just wanted to remind you to dream and dream big, and understand that your family and friends and loved ones, in most cases, boyfriends, girlfriends, they will be the first to try and talk you out of your dreams, your visions, and ideas as to what you're supposed to do with your life. They will say, who wants you when you've already had 2 or 3 kids? Who wants you when you put on all that weight? Who wants you when you're looking like this and been through this and been through that? Nobody's interested in you. Nobody's checking for you. They'll laugh at you. They'll call you names because they have no dreams. They have no hunger for success. They don't have an appetite. They don't want it. I want to win so bad. My hunger and appetite for success is intimidating. It scares the shit out of people. I come up with new visions and ideas every single day. And people around me say, slow down, stop. You're doing too much. Your appetite is too big. I can't help myself. I want to win. I'm a billionaire. I was a changeaire. I was a dollaraire. I was a thousandaire. I am a millionaire. There's only one step left. The billion. I don't think I'll see a trillion. But I know I'll see a billion. I believe it. I believe it. And there's no one in the world that can talk me out of that feeling. Sending my love all the way from Paris. If you make it to the end of this video, I want you to write, only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible. You have to be able to see what doesn't exist in order to be able to pull off or achieve what in most people's minds seems to be impossible. Only those that can see the invisible, being able to see what's not there. What is your vision? What is your idea? What was that God-sent dream? Only those that can see the invisible can do what seems to be impossible. You have to be relentless. You have to never let off the gas, never stop, never quit. Never allow anyone to talk you out of the dream, the vision, and ideas that God has sent you. I got a question. They have a saying that ignorance is bliss. They also have a saying that most of our hearts cannot be affected by the things that they're unaware of. They also have a saying that there is a certain level of peace that you have from being oblivious and clueless about the reality of things that are going on. You know better, but you're not doing better. That's the part of this whole video that's going to make you a little uncomfortable. You know better, but you're not doing better. That's some scary shit. For you to decide, here's limitations. with my career and my marriage and my personal life. Here's some dysfunction in my career, my personal life, and my surroundings and my friends. I know better, but I'm so used to doing wrong and being dysfunctional. I know better, but I don't want to do better. Or I know better, but I'm not willing to do better. You have decided to settle, and you're so comfortable in your skin. You are pissing everybody off at your job. If somebody gonna look at me, treat me and be disrespectful, like, fuck you, well, guess what? Fuck you. Is that really gonna help your career to grow with that type of mentality? When's the last time you brought your boss a basket and just said, with the amount of people that are unemployed in this country, sometimes I can take having a job for granted, being able to pay my bills, feed my kids, pay my mortgage or my rent, my car note. It's only because you have a job that you're able to survive. Most of us want more than what we already have. But the fact that you do have, and you're being mean, you have an attitude, everything about what you've been doing is basically self-sabotage. You're trying to, it's like, okay, here's a blessing, here's an opportunity right here in front of me. I'm gonna use my charm to get in the door, and then I'm gonna become an asshole. Self-sabotage, self-defeat. Here's an opportunity right here in front of me. Things are going well. Things are beautiful. They like me, they like me. And then something in your mind and in your spirit says, let me try and figure out a way to f this up. Because for some reason in your mind, you associate dysfunction with success. You know to do better, but you don't want to do better. Self-sabotage, self-defeat is real. When you show up late, when you are out of shape and your job requires you to be in shape, when you are not working as hard as you know you can work on the job, when you are giving people attitude because they're giving you an attitude, it's like a cycle of death. It ain't gonna stop. It's like catty little girly shit, and men do the same shit. Catty, girly, just dumb shit. Ego. You know what I'm saying? Homeboy came, look, he got a problem with me, so I got a problem with him. If your goal is to work your way up the success ladder, if you're gonna have a problem with everybody who has a problem with you, do you think that that's gonna help you to get to the top even faster? You know how many times I gotta laugh at shit that ain't funny? You know how many times I gotta go to dinners and events and places and be around people that I don't f with at all? I don't like them. They've made it obvious that they don't like me. But guess what? If it's a game of survival, we gonna get from where we are to where we trying to be. Your pride and your ego is out of f***ing control. Your pride and your ego has been killing your career growth. Your pride and your ego and your attitude has compromised the altitude of your career. I'll say it again. Your attitude has compromised the altitude of your career. Your shit could be on another level. You know better, but you're deciding to not do better. You are a lazy, unprofessional, mean attitude having. And yet, when things are not happening good for you, when things are not coming your way, when things are not happening as fast as you want them to happen, you blame everybody else and what they're doing and saying, and you completely disown everything that you're doing to contribute to your career not going to another level. You know better, but you don't want to do better. This is uncomfortable. But I'm telling y'all the truth. Your boss needs a cigar with a personal letter. This week, he does. Your boss needs an invite to lunch. Or you need to tell your boss, I'm gonna treat you to lunch. Your boss needs his ego stroked, and he needs to understand that you're a new person. And from here on, all of your coworkers and everybody that is with you, whether they're making more money than you or less money than you, everyone around you can contribute to you climbing faster up the success ladder. When people who would normally find themselves being jealous and envious of you find themselves saying, I like him or I like her so much, I am now rooting for them to even bypass me. They're just such a great person. I want them to receive whatever blessings and opportunities there is for them to receive. But if you have a f***ed up attitude, it is going to continue to compromise the altitude of your career. I refuse to be aware of something I could be and should be doing better and purposely decide to not do it. I refuse. That's just like inviting broke into your life. That's like inviting homeless in your life. That's inviting no gas money, can't pay your cell phone bill. That's inviting bullshit in your life. To know better and not do better is some of the dumbest shit you could ever decide to do for yourself. Then you're sitting back stressed out and depressed, wondering why. Why ain't things happening? That's the answer. I just gave it to you. It's about as real as it gets. The question is, what are you going to do next week, 2 weeks from now? You're in your own way. You are the reason your career is not on the next level. Nobody else but you. Oh, that's uncomfortable. I'll say it again. You know better, but you're not doing better. And to know better and not be willing to do better, your career isn't gonna get any better. I want you to hug your coworker. Give them energy and a conversation that they don't deserve. And then guess what? They'll start feeling like shit, that they're giving you f***ed up energy. And you're still loving them and giving them compassion and energy that they may not deserve. That's how you become recommended to become the president or the vice president or the senior executive, or you find yourself working your way up the ranks. Your attitude has given people scissors to cut you off. Your attitude and your whole shit has given people scissors to try and chop you down and chop you out of opportunities. Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants a bigger position. Everybody wants to move from where they are to get to that next level. But your attitude has compromised your altitude. This is a long video, but if you make it to the end of this video, I want you to write, your attitude will compromise the altitude of your career. As always, I'm doing these videos because I love you and I care for you, And I want you to start having a problem with where your life and your career is. I'm sharing because I'm as happy as anyone could ever imagine. And I want to share this. That's why I do what I do. Your attitude will compromise your altitude. I love you. It's a lot of love in the word no. Most of us don't grow until you hear the word no. It's a lot of love in the word no. What is your bottom line? If you don't have a bottom line, it's expected of that man or that woman to continue to cross the line. If you don't have a bottom line, most of y'all claim to have a bottom line, but as soon as that person says or does the same thing over and over and over, you give them a pass. So therefore, maybe there's a bottom line to you, but you're not enforcing the bottom line. Someone is aware of the fact that you're not a bottom line enforcer, so then they just keep taking advantage of you. There's a lot of love in the word no. There's a lot of love in the word no. Here's a quote that changed my life forever. You should always expect the things that you accept from people. I'll say it again. You should always expect the things that you accept from people. Here's an example. If I accept your disrespect, then it's expected of you to continue to disrespect me. If you disrespect me, and it happens over and over and over and over again, I'm saying to you, I'm sending you a message that what you're doing, what you're saying, the way you're treating me, the way you're going about this relationship is acceptable. I'm giving you permission to continue to disrespect me. I'm giving you permission to continue to be mean, rude, disrespectful, evil, condescending, whatever the case may be. You should always expect the things that you accept. If I accept $2, you're like, man, I think I'm worth more. I think when it's time to renegotiate, or if I get an upgrade in pay and my boss is going back and forth with me and I say, okay, I accept your offer. He's going to say, yes, I got her or him to accept that. So now a year goes by and it's time for you to now get a raise. You accepted $2. So if you're going to get a raise, it's expected of you to maybe take $3. And then you like, nah, man, I work my ass off. I want $7. He's like, no. You accepted $2 last time. So it's expected of you to take a smaller amount of money again. You create the blueprints for the exchange of you and that relationship. If you have a bottom line, if you know your value, if you know what you're bringing to the table, then you never, ever should take less than what you know you're worth. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to money, when it comes to opportunities, it's about staying humble. And if you have a plan, you'll say, you know what? I'm not tripping on how much money I'm paying. I'm more excited about the opportunity, because once I get my foot in the door, then I know sky's the limit on how much money I'm gonna be making. So I'll accept this for right now because it's connected to a plan. Let me just get in the door. Sometimes people don't see or understand your value. When you get in the door and you perform and you hit it out the park, then now you're in the position of power. You said, you know what, I accepted a low amount because I want to show you what I was made of. And now that I'm in the dough, what you're now offering me is unacceptable. You should always expect the things that you accept. Don't talk to me like that. Why are you so disrespectful and talking to me like that? Why are you crying? I've been talking to you and treating you like this since we got together. So you've made me feel like me disrespecting you and coming at you the way I do is acceptable. You have accepted my disrespect. So it's expected of you to continue to receive this disrespect. Anything I want to unleash on you, it is expected of you to accept it. So why are you trying to act like you got a problem with it now? When you've made me feel like everything I do, everything I do, whatever I say, however way I want to go about this whole shit, you've made me feel like, you know what? It's acceptable. If you make it to the end of this video, I want you to write, you should always expect the things that you accept. And I want you to make me aware of what is unacceptable. Spread this video. And this time, for the first time ever, other than the fact that I want you to share this video, I also want you to tag someone in the video that reminds you of someone who needs to hear about this. Self-love creates a bottom line. Self-love creates a real bottom line, drawing your foot in the sand and saying anything that you're trying to do from this point on is unacceptable. I refuse to be on the receiving end of any of the mean, evil, and disrespectful things that you just decide you want to unleash on me. It is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Talk about it. Speak on it. I love y'all. Harriet Tubman says, I freed 1,000 slaves. I would have freed even more slaves if they would have known that they were slaves. Wow. How many of you fellas and women are operating as a slave and don't even know it? Are you conscious that every day you wake up and you're anticipating to work for somebody? We all work for somebody in whatever capacity, but are you even working towards working for yourself? Are you looking to wake up and be somebody's bee? They said somebody's bee, as in you got the king and the queen bee, and you got all the worker bees that work for someone. They said, what is that quote? I got to think of it. They said, if you don't remain obedient to your visions and dreams, you're going to wake up every day at 6 a.m. to go and work for somebody else who was obedient to their dreams. I would have freed more slaves if they would have known that they were actually slaves. I don't think y'all know how powerful that is. I realize that we are our own mountains. We are the reasons that a lot of shit don't go right for us. We create challenges and obstacle courses and issues and conflicts. If something is blessed and beautiful and is right in front of us, we are going to figure out a way to f it up. We are our own mountains. Harriet Tubman says, I was able to free over 1,000 slaves. I would have freed more slaves if they would have known that they were actually slaves. She's coming in like, come on, let's go, let's go. And they like, what the fuck are you talking about? We got to get out of here. We don't want to be slaves no more. Let's go, let's break free. What? What the hell is she talking about? Harriet Tubman says, I freed over 1,000 slaves. I would have freed more slaves if they would have known that they were slaves. We are our own mountains. We self-sabotage and self-defeat and stop ourselves from advancing and moving forward with opportunities that are directly in front of our faces. I am sending this message out to the world, and I'm asking for everyone to go within. Don't be consumed in the opinions of the world. Hold on with that bag. I'm leaving the video. It's loud. Don't be consumed of the opinions and thoughts of the world. When I leave these videos, it's a moment for us to actually sit still and think about us and our life. And not everything I say is a reflection of everybody. But there's a lot of crazy shit going on. There's a lot of people out here who wake up every day trying to figure out, how can I fuck up my marriage? How can I mess up my relationship? How can I take a blessed and beautiful situation and mess it all up? Drama and dysfunction is the orchestration and works of the devil. And when things are blessed, you purposely try and figure out a way to make it stressed. I suffer from it sometimes. We all suffer from it. But us being our own mountain, it's like, man, the peaks and valleys, we got a lot of challenges in lives and mountains to climb. Are you your own mountain? Harriet Tubman said, I was able to free over 1,000 slaves. I would have freed even more slaves if they would have known that they were slaves. And just so y'all know, I'm not one of them guys that's like, the slave, the white man, this. I don't get into all that. That's not who I am. I believe that every man and every woman individually can create a better outcome for their life, situation, career, and circumstance if they stop self-sabotaging and going out of their way to fuck up their own situations.
Most of us are also afraid of the unfamiliar. I've never done that before. I've never lived in that city before. I got all these gifts and all these talents. I'm so ambitious. I feel like there's no opportunities in this city, state, or country that I live in. So why the fuck do you still live there? If you want to get into model or anything in the fashion industry, the mecca of fashion and modeling is New York City. If you're trying to get into music as a producer or a songwriter, the mecca is Atlanta or LA, but mainly Atlanta. If you're trying to get into acting, writing scripts, and doing movies and acting or directing or filmmaking or producing movies in any capacity, that is Los Angeles. That's LA. Where do you live? You got all these gifts and all these talented, all these gifts and all these talents. Do you think that you just writing scripts, trying to study acting and doing all the things that you're doing, you think somebody gonna find your ass in the middle of nowhere? Nobody gonna find you. Out of sight, out of mind. No one is ever gonna see or have you in mind for any project or opportunity if you live in the middle of nowhere. Your own friends and family can't find your ass when they come visit, let alone somebody who has a movie or a project that's got your name all over it. And things are not gonna happen that fast. But understand, out of sight, out of mind. And once you get on people's radars, you have to understand that not everybody's gonna be checking for you. I often say, you never know what's on people's minds. Often say you never know what's on people's mind. When you try and walk up to them, oh my God, Tyrese, I'm a fan. Hey man, can you? Okay, I hear you. You don't know what's on my mind. You don't know what I'm going through. So don't feel like anybody's dissing you or rejecting you when you approach them to try and have a conversation about something that you're passionate about, something that you're excited about. Here's the last thing, and I'm gonna wrap this up. There's these people called seat fillers. Seat fillers work at every award show. The Grammys, the BET Awards, the Oscars, the American Music Awards. Every award show has seat fillers. I've been at award shows myself. Now, I'm a star, I'm established, you know what I mean? Arguably, I'm a heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? I've been at some of the biggest award shows and ended up sitting next to people I don't know who the fuck they are. And they're like, oh my God, Tyrese, nice to meet you. I'm just a seat filler, but oh my God, I get a chance to sit next to you. This seat filler goes from me to Charlize Theron, from me to any rapper, any singer, any actress, anybody. They're seat fillers, and they sit at these award shows. The question is, why are you just filling seats? If you have an opportunity to have a conversation or sit next to Beyonce, Jay-Z, your favorite stars at one of these award shows, and you're just looking to be a seat filler and not take advantage of the opportunity to sit on the side of somebody as a seat filler, that's your fucking loss. That's you not seizing the moment and taking advantage of the moment. I'm gonna be a seat filler. My name is Johnny from Crested Butte, Colorado. I decided because I'm so passionate about music or acting, I'm gonna move to LA and I'm gonna be borderline broke. I'm gonna look on Craigslist or whatever I gotta do to end up finding a roommate, living in a room with somebody. Because you start here doesn't mean that that's gonna be your finish. You gotta grind and hustle. You're gonna even have the doubt, the spirit of doubt is gonna kick in, and you're gonna say, why the fuck did I move out here? Everybody laughed at me. Everybody was looking at me like, man, you crazy as a mother. You just gonna leave your city, the comfortability of your house, your family, your environment, all your friends, your loved one to go seek a dream and seek something that you're passionate about? Absolutely. Absolutely. Out of sight, out of mind. No one will ever have you in mind for anything that you're trying to do, achieve, or accomplish if you're living in the middle of Egypt some damn where. Nothing wrong with Egypt. I was going to say something else, but anyway, you live in the middle of nowhere. Your friends and your family can't find you, let alone a director and a producer, a writer, an executive. You are beautiful. You are talented. And let me put this out there. Some of the most amazingly talented actors out here are not always beautiful. So if you think you got to be attractive to be successful as an actor, you got it all fucked up. And I don't even want to call no names, but y'all can go down a long list of people that are not visibly beautiful, but very brilliantly talented. So I don't want y'all to think that in Hollywood, you can't make it unless you're beautiful. I don't want y'all to think that in Hollywood, you got to be some slim little petite model with your damn ribs showing in order to have somebody to consider you for a movie role. If you're trying to be a model, being slim, that's an audience in New York City. Get to New York. Do what you got to do. Even if you live an hour and a half out in Jersey somewhere, just get to New York. Hustle. Out of sight, out of mind. And when you see somebody and they got opportunity all over their face because you know who they are, you know what they're about, do your research, find out who these people are, find out where they hang out at, find out the restaurants they like eating at and hanging out at. If you're broke and you're financially barely holding on, get to these spots, order an orange juice and leave. Park up the street because you can't afford valet. Do what you have to do. Because you're charm, you're charismatic, you're articulate, you have ideas, you have visions for things that you want to do for your life and your career. But no one will ever know anything about your visions, your ideas, because it's out of sight, out of mind. I will never have you in mind for anything if you don't get on my radar. You don't exist until you see to it that you exist in people's minds, on their radars. Get to LA. It's about auditions. It's about this. It's about that. It's about the gift of the gab, conversation, having social skills, knowing how to move and maneuver, and having opportunities to present itself. Who the f are you to just say, I'm talented? Everybody who hears me loves me. You can be real popular in Crested Butte, Colorado, but nobody knows who the f you are. I'm gonna wrap it up. If you make it to the end of this video, I want you to write out of sight, out of mind. Are you packing your bag yet? This is the confirmation that you was waiting on. Are you on the freeway yet? Are you using your frequent flyer miles that you borrowed from other people? because it's only 25,000 frequent flyer miles round trip on American Airlines. Are you on your way to LA yet, or New York, or Atlanta? Are you going to get a hold of anybody that you can be roommates with so that you can get to a city, the city of the unknown, to do whatever you got to do to socialize and network and get to wherever you're trying to do and be in life? I'm going to put this out there as a disclaimer. If you move to LA, I don't owe you shit. You're not moving in my house. And if you run into me and say, I moved out here because you left that Facebook video, so I'm struggling and I'm f***ed up, so it's all your fault, I'm putting it out there. I don't owe you shit. You come to LA, you're on your own. You're going to do your shit, you're going to hustle, and you're going to understand that God has a plan. And he wants you to get out of your familiar space and walk boldly into the unfamiliar so that blessings and opportunities can present itself. That's the word. I'm telling you. Just the other day, I literally left my house, drove to a party because I heard one of my favorite directors was going to be there. I put on the flyest suit ever, went to the party, and ran into my favorite director and had a conversation with him. I only went to the party because I knew he was going to be there. I party with a purpose. No pride, no ego, wasn't concerned that he was going to think of me as thirsty. I don't give a f. I had a conversation waiting for you. It was like a pre-planned conversation. I got to you. I had my conversation. As soon as I had the conversation, I left. I was in valet. I'm gone. I have no other reason to be here. Not for the girls, not to be here socializing, hanging out. I'm gone. When you are obedient to God's visions and ideas, and you're willing to walk into the unfamiliar, there are blessings and opportunities waiting for you beyond anything you could ever imagine. And even when you don't do or get everything that you're after, it is the spirit of doubt that is the orchestration of the devil. It is the spirit of doubt that stops us from achieving and accomplishing most of the things that we set our minds out to do. I am not afraid of no. I am not afraid of rejection. I am not afraid of walking up to somebody and having them to look at me like, man, why the f*** are you in my face? I've already heard my worst no. I waited in a parking lot for 8 to 10 hours a day, begging people with a shopping cart. They would come out of a shopping center from grocery shopping, and I would ask them, excuse me, sir, can I have your cart? And they would say, no, no. If they would have gave me their cart, I was able to put the cart into this section, and as soon as I put their cart into the section, 25 cents would pop out. I heard no, 8 to 10 hours a day. I wasn't trying to rob them. I was actually trying to hustle. I just want your basket so I can get the quarter. They told me no. So I don't care who you are, how much more money you have, how much more you are statistically compared to me. I am not afraid of your rejection. I am not afraid of your no. I am not afraid of you turning me down. I'll teach you a lesson about confidence. When you have confidence, when you say your name, you look someone in their face and you say what? Hi, my name is
Shayla.
Shayla what?
Gibson.
My name is?
Shayla Gibson.
Why are you acting shy? Why are you wobbling? How are you doing this? This is all I'm saying to you. It doesn't matter what they think of me. I know what I think of myself. I am, repeat after me, I am great. I am amazing. Say it louder with more confidence.
I am amazing.
I am significant.
I am significant.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I am special.
I am special.
I could stand up with all the confidence in the world.
I can stand up on the confidence on the world.
I can look any man and any woman in the face
I can look any man or woman in the face
and say,
I'm Shayla
smart.
I am smart.
No one can stop me but me.
No one can stop me just by me.
No one can stop me but me.
No one can stop me but me.
The only person that could ever stand in my way
The only person that can stand in my way
is me.
is me.
And me standing in my way
If me standing in my way
is not an option.
is not an option.
I'm great.
I'm great.
Hands up.
I'm up.
Yes.
Yes.
I am amazing.
Yes, I am amazing.
I am smart. I'm not done. Stand up. I am smart.
I'm smart.
I am great.
I'm great.
I am special.
I am special.
No one in the world can stop my greatness.
It's not fucking good.
No one in the world
Not in the world.
can shake my confidence.
Take my confidence.
It doesn't matter what you say about me.
It doesn't matter what you say about me.
It's about the way I feel about myself.
It's the way about me. I'm feeling about myself.
I love me.
I love me.
So it doesn't matter if you don't love me.
It doesn't matter if you don't love me.
I love me.
I love me.
Because I'm great.
Because I am great.
I am
I am
Shayla Gibson.
Tyrese Gibson.
Come on.
Yeah.
I love it.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Here's a message to all of you beautiful people. I want to remind y'all of the power of the mind. You can think yourself into a depression. You can think your way into stress. You can think your way into misery, frustration. There's so much more power in the mind than you probably like to give yourself credit for. When you wake up in the morning after seeing this video, I want you to decide to think happy thoughts and hanging around and consume yourself with happy things and people. And you will find yourself feeling like your mood and your energy is better. I'm in the middle of recording right now on this Black Rose album, and I'm feeling the pressure because I have to get this album done, mixed and mastered for a release date of 5/5, which I hope doesn't get pushed back. But I just wanted to take this moment in the middle of my studio session to tell you how much power you have in your mind. We are all a work in progress. We are all a work in progress, trying to climb our way up the spiritual ladder, do better, be better, trying our best to not put our hands and our legs on obvious landmines and making mistakes. No one's perfect. But I just want to remind you of the power of the mind. You can create the outcome of your hour, your week, your month, and your year. You just have to decide in your mind what you want it to be. Some of y'all are struggling with depression and being sad and just being in this blue funk, and you can't shake it. I thank God every day that that's not me. But I do know and I recognize that it does exist. But there's more power in the mind than you probably like to think and give yourself credit for. If your life and your surroundings is a nightmare while you're awake, those same nightmares are going to continue into your sleep. Because the mind doesn't turn off because you close your eyes to go to sleep and rest. You can think yourself into a depression. Keep thinking and replaying and thinking and replaying, playing the same shit over and over and over in your mind. And then your body naturally will feel the effects of what you've created in your mind. And a lot of you guys are on the receiving end of something that happened to you, a heartbreak, a situation, disrespect, feeling vulnerable, feeling like someone or a situation has caused you to be on the receiving end. And so you're feeling the effects of losing a grandmother, a grandfather, a friend, a family member, a cousin, your best friend, dealing with the trauma and the psychological effects of losing your child, a car accident, maybe something that you witnessed. And so it's very natural for something that you've experienced to replay in your mind over and over and over. But if you change your mind, it'll change your life. I'm still a work in progress. I'm flawed. I have my own issues and problems and situations that I'm working through. But I do understand clearly that I'm much more further along than a lot of people. And so when I leave my videos, I feel like I'm putting my hand out there and hoping to relate and hoping that you can relate to what I'm saying and what I'm speaking on. Because just maybe you're going through this exact same thing. There's more power in the mind than you'd like to give credit for. Change your mind. Decide that you love yourself enough to not surround yourself with people, things, and situations that can have your mind continuing to spiral down this negative and dysfunctional train. Here's a word that I got from somebody that I look up to a lot. Be kind to yourself. You are actually doing the best you can. Be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't drive yourself crazy. You are actually doing the best you can. I don't remember the last time I lost sleep over a hater, because I stopped giving haters permission to affect my life, my day, my month, and my year. If someone has something to say and it actually makes sense, you're going to help me to grow, mature, consider new thoughts and feelings, views and perspectives that don't exist. But for people that go out of their way to try and reflect their negativity and their hate and their animosity and their own life's insecurities and frustrations out on you, I've disowned you, and so you don't have any effects on me. And I want those people out there that can relate to that to join me. There is a mature way to listen to critiques, criticism, feedback, comments, insight, and information. Hurt people will go out of their way to hurt people. Insecure people will go above and beyond to create insecurities. Negative people will see to it that you feel the negative effects of who they are. Haters have a job to do. they hate. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to allow what your intentions are to affect me. I love myself enough to where I've created a force field away from negative people with negative intentions towards my life. There's a lot of power in the mind. And I'm just asking that you stop thinking your way into a depression. Your mind is a battlefield. Your mind is the battlefield. Because there's so much turmoil, trauma, and dysfunction playing out in your mind. And you're physically experiencing the effects of your mind. Pray on it. You can't be stressed, depressed, miserable, frustrated over the things that God has given you clarity over. Of all the things I pray for clarity. When I get clarity, it's like some burdens get lifted off my shoulders. I understand now. I have clarity. I get it. Thank you. And it doesn't mean that after you get clarity, that whatever you're going through is going to go away, but you're going to feel the burden and the stress and the psychological effects that it's been having on you to get lifted off of you because you have clarity. There's a lot of power in the mind. And if you didn't know that, I just wanted to make you aware of that. I'm very happy. I feel the joy, even though my voice is deep and I seem very serious. I've never been more happy in my life, and I'm very grateful to have the mind, body, and spirit and the level of clarity that I have. It makes my life better. I hope somebody out there received this message. Tag whoever needs to see this message. I'm fully committed to spreading love and spreading whatever insight and information I have. And I'm also clear that not every message I leave is for everybody.
Take your place. Make your mark. Live your life. Take your place. Make your mark. And live your life. God didn't bring you in this world to be average. God didn't bring you in this world to wake up and die one day and just be another person that lived and died and didn't do anything significant in this world. Let me say something. It's very important that you listen to this. This is a concept that I created on my own. It's called the basement. What does that mean? It means most of you, you're so consumed with everything that's going on in the world. This is the reasons you haven't figured out your own life yet. Every blog, every website, every tweet, every Instagram post, CNN, the news, Fox, any and everything that's going on in the world, you are so consumed with everything that's going on in the world, you're ignoring your own world. You can never shine trying to sit on someone else's sun. You can never figure out who you are if you're consumed in everything that everybody else is and what they're doing and the moves that they're making. Who they're having sex with, who they're pregnant by, who they're dating, who they went to a club with, who bought the most bottles, jewelry, clothes, materialistic things, red bottoms. See all these women out here wearing red bottoms and they broke as hell with no gas money. All these dudes out here consumed and video games and who they smashing and running around with the latest club trying to buy bottles so that the whole club can light up and they over there broke as a perception creators in the wrong way. You're so consumed in trying to force everyone to think and believe that you're doing it big, but we all know that you're not. Huh? There's a lot of undiscovered magicians out here, and they specialize in creating the smoke and making the world think that they're doing it big. But every night they go to sleep and they're crying silent tears because you have convinced the world that you're doing it big, and you know you're not doing it big. You know that you are living beyond your means and you are frustrated and miserable. There is a saying that you have to fake it until you make it. But most of y'all have been faking it for so long, you're never gonna make it. Most of y'all have been faking it so long, you now believe your own tricks. Most of y'all have been living a lie for so long that you believe your own lies. At first it was a gimmick. At first it was fun. Let me create the smoke. Let me make everybody believe that I'm this and I'm that. The problem is you now believe your own lies so convincingly that you're now miserable because you're trying to chase someone else's life. You're trying to chase someone else's lifestyle and identity, all while ignoring your own life and your own path, all while ignoring what God has in mind for you. What is the vision for your life? What are the ideas and the dreams for your life? What are you supposed to be doing? Who are you? What are your gifts and talents? What is your ultimate destiny and your goals? So all while you're consumed and focused on somebody else's career, how much they got in their account, their moves, their blessings, and their opportunities, your own career, your own focus, your own path is being further dumped in the back seat. God didn't bring you in this world to be focused on what everybody else is doing. Maybe there's a charitable organization that you're supposed to found. And this charitable organization is not always connected to money. You know how many little boys and little girls that are out here that are lost and have no sense of direction. You know how many boys and little girls are out here emotionally stressed out, confused, have no leaders, have no one to look up to, no sense of direction. When I was in the hood and I was in Watts, no one famous ever showed up to make a difference in my life. It was always regular people just like you, who decided, I see the value in you, little boy, little girl, beyond what's in your bank account, because you don't got no bank account. I believe in you. Your mother and your father may be on drugs, abusive mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You're a nice kid. You're a little boy, a little girl. You just don't have no sense of direction. I was in Orlando the other day and this dude walked up to me in the lobby and he said, "What up, Tyrese, man? I look up to you." He was early 20s, probably not even 20. He's like, "Dude, I got 2 felonies." I looked at him. He looked like a good kid. Even on the felonies were little small, random little bullshit felonies. He said, "I got 2 felonies." He looked like a good kid. And instead of me just thinking like, yo, this little kid is just trying to take a picture with me, I looked at him and I was like, wow, this is a reminder that this kid is only a few conversations away from direction so that he never meets that 3rd strike. So I start following his mother on Twitter, and I hope she sends me a DM because I would love the opportunity to talk to him and mentor with. him if I can, to hopefully give him a sense of direction. Because it's very easy to become your environment. It's very easy for us to become duplicates of everything and everybody that's around us. Our youth and our young generation are growing up amongst wolves. And if you're growing up amongst wolves, more than likely you will become one. I'm saying to you, take your place, make your mark, and live your life. Wake up every day and decide that you love yourself enough to commit yourself to you. They say that you're selfish. The word selfish starts with the word self. I cannot take care of you if I'm not taking care of myself. Some of y'all are so consumed, you're allowing people to make you feel bad about being so blessed. So you find yourself being consumed in everything and everybody and their problems, their issue, and their situations. They're making you feel bad about the little money that you have in your account. You didn't run up that phone bill. You did not drive. You did not tell them to go and get a car that they can't afford. So now they're a couple of months behind on their payments on their car. They're living in a house or an apartment that they can't afford. So they're calling you to make you feel bad about the fact that they're behind on their rent. You're living in that house that you can't afford. You're living beyond your means, trying to live up to this hype that you're doing it when you're really not doing it. You're out here running around making everybody feel bad about the bills that you can't afford because you're living beyond your means. Guess what? If you don't give them that money, they're going to call somebody else to give them that money. Guess what? If you were to die tomorrow, God forbid, the person that continues to call one person after the next, after the next, after the next, begging, manipulating them, playing on their emotions, trying to make them feel bad so that you can pay all their bills and get them out of the hole. As soon as you get them out of the hole, they will never learn a lesson from the reason that they're in the hole in the first place. They're going to go from one person, 1 month after the next, begging, pleading, because they're living beyond their means. And you're just going to be bamboozled every time. Because once you pay their bills once, believe me, you become their new ATM and they keep calling every single time. Live your life, make your mark. Don't wake up every day being consumed in everybody else's thoughts and their intentions. Live your life and make your mark. God put you on this earth to do something significant. You're not supposed to be another person that lived and died and didn't do anything significant. These girls ain't going nowhere. These parties, these clubs, the turn up, the popping Molly and drinking, and this shit ain't going nowhere. You have a vision, you have an idea, you have a genius idea that's in your mind, that's brewing and orchestrating. Ideas are like pregnancies. Some of the ideas come out quick. Others take a little longer to mold and shape and develop in your mind. And you should understand this, that it was always going to be your family and your friends that would be the first ones to try and talk you out of your vision and your big idea. That's why you're supposed to live your life. Focus on your intentions and do your thing. If I had paid attention to what people thought I was going to do with my life and what my career path would be, I would not be Tyrese Gibson. I'm 16 movies in the game. Multi-millionaire. 35 years old. Young, fly, sexy, handsome, confidence, got wisdom, insight, and information on how to go from where I am to all of these new levels that are on the way. Most of my friends, I drive them crazy because I'm so specific and so bold with my visions and my intentions. Even if they tried, they couldn't get me off my path. And that makes people very uncomfortable, because when you see the invisible, you're able to do the impossible. I'll say it again. Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible, which means that if you see what's not there, that means that you have these bold, uncomfortable visions and intentions and ideas, and you're going to have all of these random people popping up in many forms, trying to get you off of your path. And you're so convinced that this is what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing and the people that you're supposed to be doing it with. You're so convinced that this is what it is. You drive people crazy and you make people uncomfortable because their goal is to distract you and fuck up your plan. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to encourage you to go to that basement. Those clubs and those parties and them girls and them mini skirts and them flat stomachs, and it all sounds great. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. Every multi-millionaire and every multi-billionaire in this world that are living on the top have all decided that I'm going to commit myself to this career, this vision, this goal, sports, training, education. No parties. They're going to call you names. They're going to say you're corny. They're going to call you a square. They're going to say that you're a weirdo because you don't fuck with nobody. Those are the characteristics of a champion. Those are the characteristics of someone that have said that I have decided that I'm going to create a shift in this universe. If you look at documentaries on Steve Jobs and Oprah and President Obama and all of the above, they are weird, because they've seen things that no one else seen for their career path. They are living beyond what is expected because they were obedient to the vision. If you make it to the end of this video, I want you to write, I will be obedient to the vision. I will be obedient to the vision. I'm getting off of this. I got shit to do. I love me. So the day that you decide to stop loving me, I'm not going to love myself any less. I believe in me. If you stop believing in me, I'm not going to believe in myself any less. If you believe that I'm irrelevant, that no one is checking for me, and that I don't mean anything to the world, because you think or believe that about me, it doesn't mean that I'm going to believe it about myself. See, the day that you start living your life according to everybody else's opinion is the beginning of the end. Most of y'all, and it's f***ed up, I see it every day, all day. Most of you guys don't actually know your self-worth. You don't know your self-value. So you're like a vulnerable little child and you're shaking. And it's like, everybody loves me this week, so I love me this week. Next week, it drops. So now you're running around insecure, feeling self-conscious, and not loving yourself, sad and depressed, based on the feedback, the responses, and the energy that the rest of the world is giving you. I wrote about this in my new book, which is coming. It's called Black Rose. It hasn't been released yet, but it's coming. I talk about the fact that fame is an addiction. Fame is one of the most unspoken addictions out there. So many celebrities and entertainers, athletes, and public figures, they base their self-worth on their relevancy based on everybody in the world checking for them. And as soon as people stop checking for them, then they stop checking for themselves. Y'all don't love me no more? I'm not selling records. I'm not #1 in the box office no more. I'm not making as much money as I used to make. Oh, ain't nobody checking for me. So guess what? I'm not checking for myself. No one sees the value in me anymore. So I don't see the value in me anymore. Every time I go on Twitter, Facebook, they say I'm irrelevant. So I'm irrelevant to myself now. I ain't because you think that I ain't shit. No one loves me because you said no one loves me. I don't love me. The day that you allow the opinions of the outside world to dictate the way you feel about yourself, it is the beginning of the end of you living a blessed and self-loving, secure
life. I can tell y'all right now that it is not the car that I drive or any of the jewelry that I own or the size of my house that defines my self-worth. I'm hot. I'm hot. I'm hot when you don't think I'm hot. I'm amazing when you don't think I'm amazing. I love me even if you stop loving me. You can say the nastiest, meanest, evilest shit that you could ever conjure up. It will never change the way I feel about myself. I'm telling you, that's the way I live my life. That's how I feel about me. Most of y'all are on Twitter. You're desperate for likes. You're desperate for the egotistical feeding frenzy. Feed my ego, feed. Like me, because I don't like me. I'm telling y'all right now, the day that you allow the opinions of everybody on the outside world to define your day-to-day, month-to-month, and year-to-year, it's the beginning of the end. Love yourself. Believe in yourself. Love yourself, believe in yourself, independent of the validation of the world. Have opinions and feelings about yourself, independent of the feedback. Why you gotta have somebody calling you beautiful every day in order for you to feel beautiful? Do you believe that you're beautiful, or do you only believe you're beautiful when other people say that you're beautiful? I'm just asking. Self-love is the cure to self-hate. If you make it to the end of this video, I want you to write, self-love is the cure to self-hate. These are the type of qualities that I'm going and have been instilling in my daughter. There is no man that you could ever meet, Shayla, that can make you feel more amazing than what you're supposed to feel about yourself. Nobody wants to be alone. But if you show up empty, as an empty shell, and you're expecting this man to fulfill you and fill you up with all of the love that doesn't exist, you're going to be fucked up. Because as soon as he leaves, you're depleted, you're empty, and you have nothing left for yourself again. Never rely or depend on anybody to fulfill your heart. And if you don't believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, you better get to know him. Because that's also a part of the process of self-love. You are supposed to love yourself independent of any feedback, comments, likes, shares, and any of all of this other social media shit. Some of y'all are social media whores. What does that mean? I ain't shit until people on my timeline tell me that I'm the shit. I love me independent of anything that anybody could ever say. Has nothing to do with being arrogant or egotistical. It's just a matter of knowing and being aware of self-worth. I love you. If you make it to the end of this video, I want you to write, self-love is the cure to self-hate. Self-love is the cure to self-hate. And I hope you share this video because I want this video to spread all over the world. Send it to World Star Hip Hop. Send it to all of the blogs and the websites. Self-love is the cure to self-hate. It's your man Tyrese, spreading love always. Share. Click that share button. Spread love. Love circle. I love you always.
How easy and how convenient is it for us to blame everything and everybody for the things that we have going on in our lives? There is a such thing as you being a positive and a great person with the best of intentions towards everybody, and shit is rough and you just can't get a break. But most of you are waking up every day looking for pain, dysfunction, drama, unemployment, being broke, struggling, dropping every excuse in the book about your childhood and the problems and dysfunction that you grew up in that's stopping you from becoming successful. You don't like your friends, so why are you still f***ing with them? You don't trust your managers, agents, and lawyers, so why are they still there? Do you really expect your life and career to be any different from messing with the same things, people, and situations? That's all I'm saying. Stop being a lazy, bum-ass person that's full of excuses, sitting around on the pity potty, coming up with every excuse in the world as to why you ain't winning.
You are the reason you're not winning. You keep messing with negative, evil, and dysfunctional people and expecting positive results. It's time you get off the pity potty. Stop complaining about being out of shape when you never go to the gym. Stop looking at your stomach when you get out of the shower and your body and complaining about the way you look when you're eating everything in sight and never going to the gym. You are the reason you look the way you look. You are the reason you're unemployed. You are the reason why your surroundings are so dysfunctional and negative. You could still be in the hood, broken up, and living a peaceful life. It's a choice. We are being raised in a generation of people that come up with every excuse in the book as to why they are not winning. You have every excuse in the book why you're not spending time with your kids. Fathers, I'm talking to you. Because you're able to create a child doesn't mean that you're a father. It doesn't mean that you understand the concept of fatherhood. It's time to stop coming up with excuses why 5, 6, 7 months and even years have went by without you seeing your child. It's wrong, and it's only the kids that are suffering in the end. Excuses sound best to the people that's making them up. You got every excuse in the world. That's why your shit ain't moving. That's why ain't nothing changed and nothing will change. Because you have convinced yourself that everything is wrong, everything is negative, and nothing will change. And guess what? It won't change. Change your mind and it will change your life. Change. If nothing around you changes, change the things that are around you. I'm tired of it. I'm frustrated with the amount of people that are not successful because they have thought their way into a depression. You have thought your way into negativity and misery. You have thought your way into holding on to a dude or a girl that you broke up with a year or two ago and you're still sad and miserable. They done moved on with their life. It's all in the mind. Change your mind and it will change your life. You just have to wake up. You just have to break that negative spirit. You have to break through all of that shit that you're carrying.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I made this video because Brittany Barnett asked me to. So if there's a famous entrepreneur that you want me to profile next, leave it down in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. I'd also love to know what of Tyrese said had the biggest impact on you and why. Leave it in the comments and I will join in the discussion. Thank you guys so much for watching. Continue to believe, or whatever your one word is, and I'll see you soon.
We got a bunch of people sleeping on R&B. My Black Rose album just came out tonight, and they say fans don't buy 4 albums no more. This is what R&B looks like. Hello? Excuse me, everybody. My name is Tyrese. I'm a singer. I left all of the major record labels so that I can do my thing as an independent artist. And I'm on the train. I got my security in case anybody decides to hit me in the neck. And I'm asking that y'all download my new album, Black Rose. Can y'all see all these people over here? Black Rose, I'm independent. I'm grassroots. I'm in these streets. I'm a street performer. Yeah. I'm with it. You feel it. About that, son. About that life, son. That's right, son. That's right, son. Get at him, baby. You know what I'm saying? Can't stop, won't stop. Do that white nigga. Give it to him. I'm trying, son. I'm trying to do it. R&B like son. We not here. Give it to him. Yeah. We trying to bring rock with Brooklyn fighters. Yeah. You know what's going on. So bad. For us, by us, nigga. Get him, nigga. Get him. My hand. I got it. And yo, I'm security. That's Michelob Life wear. My hand is red as a
I'm trying to keep up with this nigga. God damn. Give me some more. I'm 50, nigga. Get out. All that. Hey yo, you got all the ladies though. They ain't supposed to be like that. They feel sorry for you now. You hurt your head. Now they won't kiss your head. Put me down, nigga. I wanna eat. I'm the boogeyman, nigga. Put me down. I wanna eat. Facts. Hey yo, I'm trying to. Hey look, I'm trying to with my whole. I just came home, baby. Yeah, no doubt. I love you, man. Stay up, man. It's real shit. Yes, sir. We out here.